Nigel Farage and other Reform UK politicians have said that you will reject migrants going to areas that you now control. How on earth can you do that when migrants get sent to go and live in hotels because of contracts between the Home Office nationally and 3 big providers? So how will you actually do that? Because, again, we've checked this. The break clauses for these contracts is not till 2029. So aren't you promising something you can't deliver?
What Nigel promised, look, so we are realistic about the fact that, yes, we won an overwhelming victory yesterday, but the levers of power at local level pale in comparison to the levers of power in Westminster. So that's why this is part of a journey to making Nigel the Prime Minister with a Reform majority. However, what our commitment is to our constituents and the people who voted for us, this is our mandate. Those levers of power will be pulled with all of our might by Reform councils. We'll use every instrument of power available to us to stop it. And there are things you can do. There are judicial reviews. There are injunctions. There's a lot of different things that can be done. Things around planning, around budget allocation as well.
But you've told people on a specific point, and people care a lot about having asylum hotels in their communities. This has caused a lot of concern to many people. But you've told them that you will reject migrants going from the council areas that you now control. How will you actually do that? Because the contracts to house those people are between the Home Office and accommodation providers. You don't have the power, perhaps, to keep the promise that you've made.
There are instruments of power available to us.
Well, like what?
Judicial reviews, injunctions. There's planning laws. You know, a lot of these hotels, and there has been litigation around this already, a lot of these hotels, when you suddenly turn them into something else, which is essentially a hostel, that falls foul of a number of regulations, and that's what our teams of lawyers are exploring at the moment. And we can look at budgets as well. So the word we used was resist. Look, we're not in government yet. That's our plan. And that's why people watching this programme who believe in these values, who don't want to live around people whose first action upon coming to this country was to break our laws and then to live at the behest of taxpayer money.